That is oral sex a sin?
Should I answer from the Bible? I should not talk. Anything you do with your wife indoors is not a sin. So long as your wife and both of you agree. Well, everybody's looking at me and I can show you when the Bible was talking about the wife of your youth, was talking about go within thy walls, let thy hands pass through assist. The Bible was saying, so long it is not a fetish, a ritual, it's not diabolic, it's not, because I know many of us now go, mouth where they serve God, mouth where they shut up. You know they use that mouth take gossip person. You know they use that mouth say they lie. I know they are going to drag me on this matter. I know they will drag me on this matter. I know they will drag me. Hey, apostle, I said another one. Save your hope.
Recently, Johnson Suleman stirred massive reactions across the Christian space after speaking openly about intimacy in marriage, addressing how spouses should satisfy one another and touching on areas many churches traditionally avoid. For some, it was refreshing. For others, it was uncomfortable, even inappropriate. And now, the conversation has shifted beyond just what was said to what should be said from the pulpit. So the real question is, was this bold truth the church needs, or a boundary crossed? His core message, what he was trying to address. At its foundation, the message was simple but powerful. Marriage is not only spiritual, it is also physical and emotional. Johnson Suleman emphasized that neglect in marriage creates distance. Lack of satisfaction can lead to frustration. And unresolved issues in intimacy can open doors to temptation. This is not far from Scripture. 1 Corinthians 7 verses 3-5 makes it clear. The husband should fulfill his duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. Do not deprive each other. This passage establishes something many ignore.
Play together. Pray together. Plan together. Play. It's not every time you should be in the spirit. Play. Carry your wife on your back. Play. Play. Sometimes after you finish all the praise and worship by the altar, give her a kiss. You say, in the church, you call it church, but me, I call it my father's house. It's my father's house. Are you following? Play, play. You have to, what is it? Play. Your wife tap you. My husband. Rabasha, Barabasha. Rabasha, Kabashata, Barabasha. I like what I'm hearing. Stop. Don't know when somebody is serious. This one always complaining. See what's happening in church. See what's happening in church. You are not sensitive. You are not sensitive. You should be a helper. He says, sorry, I was only commenting. Hey, Kebosh, Kalata.
Intimacy in marriage is not optional, it is a responsibility. Why many people agreed with him. A large number of believers supported his message for one key reason. The church has avoided this topic for too long. 4 years. Couples enter marriage without guidance. Struggles remain hidden behind spiritual maturity. Many learn about intimacy from secular culture instead of biblical wisdom. So when a pastor speaks directly, it feels real, relatable, practical. And for struggling couples, it can even feel like relief. The reality nobody talks about. Many Christian marriages suffer silently, not because of lack of prayer, but because of lack of understanding. Some spouses feel rejected, others feel unfulfilled, and many don't even know how to communicate their needs. So when a message like this comes out, it doesn't just inform, it exposes hidden struggles. Where the controversy begins. But this is where the balance becomes delicate. Because while the topic is valid, the delivery becomes the issue. Some of the statements, especially involving personal experiences and specific expressions, made people uncomfortable. Not because the subject is sinful, but because of the platform and tone. And that leads to a deeper question. Should everything that is true be said publicly? The critical view. Where concerns come from. Scripture introduces an important principle. Ephesians 5 verse 12 says, "It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret." Now this verse is not condemning marital intimacy, but it introduces the idea of discretion. There is a difference between teaching principles and describing personal details. Because when spiritual teaching becomes too descriptive, it can shift from edification to distraction. The pulpit question. The pulpit carries weight. It is not just a place for information. It is a place for transformation. So the concern many have is not, should this be taught? But rather, is this the right platform and method? Because what is appropriate in a marriage seminar, private counseling, or a closed session may not always be appropriate in a general congregation. Biblical balance. How Scripture handles intimacy. Interestingly, the Bible does not avoid intimacy. The Book of Song of Solomon is filled with deep expressions of love and desire. But notice the pattern. It is poetic. It is symbolic. It is not presented as direct public instruction. Even in truth, God maintains dignity and mystery, which suggests something important. Truth does not need to be explicit to be effective. The deeper issue, silence versus overexposure. This situation reveals a bigger problem in the church. Two extremes. Total silence where intimacy is never discussed, leaving believers uninformed. Overexposure where everything is said openly, sometimes without filters. Both extremes are dangerous. Because silence creates ignorance. Overexposure creates confusion. The human side of the message. It is also important to recognize something. Johnson Suleman was likely addressing real marital issues he has encountered. Pastors often see broken homes, emotional distance, infidelity linked to dissatisfaction. So his intention may not have been controversy, but correction. However, intention does not always remove impact. The final balance. So where do we stand? Yes, marital intimacy should be taught. Yes, spouses should satisfy one another. Yes, the church must stop avoiding real-life issues. But also, there must be wisdom. There must be boundaries. There must be sensitivity. Because spiritual leadership is not just about truth. It is about how truth is delivered. Was he wrong? Not entirely. Was he right? Not completely. He addressed a real issue, but in a way that exposed a deeper tension in the church. Maybe the real problem is not what was said, but that the church has waited too long to say anything at all. And now that someone has spoken, we don't know how to respond.